It's one thing I gotta love about Howard Stern, man. That fucker guy, he can go an hour, then they'll run a 15-minute block of bullshit with commercials, and then they're back live for an hour.
Yeah. Well, you can do a lot of stuff on satellite that they won't let us do.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
See you guys.
We were gonna have Dan taste beer through his asshole like they did on Stern one time.
Did they?
You've got, of course, and you've got to say what kind it is. Now tell me how that's possible. The guy got 5 out of 6 right.
Really?
They pour beer in your ass.
Oh no, they didn't.
I swear to God. And then they tell you guy.
It's a microbrew. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Bud Light.
Is it that time?
Mark, what was that football player's name that you confronted, not knowing he was a football player?
Oh, that was horrible.
Detroit Lions guy. What was his name?
Ramirez.
Oh,
Ramirez?
could have been. Yeah, that could have been it.
Oh, it was Ramirez.
Well, I knew it.
Dude, he was the biggest man I have ever been face to face with in my life.
Through Mark Johnson, we knew this Detroit players guy that was used to go to Champ Bailey's house for parties, and he said he saw things he didn't have never seen in porn.
Oh my God.
At Champ's house. Oh my God.
Yeah, this guy.
Why don't I know some football players?
Oh, dude, you didn't want to meet this guy, Tony Ramirez. So I'm looking for him because I have no idea he's an ex-football player.
Yeah.
Nothing about him. So I'm at his house. It's a normal house like in Highlands Ranch.
What are you doing in his house?
He took $6 grand from some lady for windows and went dark. Took her $6 grand and went dark. So his house has got these stained glass, or what do they call them, Scottish windows, with stained glass windows, except for a little teeny panel at the bottom. So I can't see through here. I'm knocking on the door, no one answers. So I'm down like this, looking in through this little window at the bottom. And this F-350 fucking Super Duty fucking truck from hell pulls up. The window rolls down. Can I help you? You know, and at this point, it's still no big deal. So I start walking up to the truck, and the door opens. He gets out. This fucking guy was like 7 feet fucking tall, like the Incredible Hulk. Bigger. He was bigger than the Incredible Hulk. What are you looking in my house for? And I'm like, oh my God. And usually at this point, hey, I'm Mark Major from the Tom Martino Troubleshooter Show. You know, what's going on? You took this lady's money. Dude, I was fucking tongue-tied. He was so big. I fucking couldn't believe it. He gave her the money back, though, within a day or two.
There you
came
go.
through and gave it back.
Oh, good.
But fuck, man, I've been in front of a lot of bigger guys, but this fucking guy was outrageous.
When my son was a service a process, he went to this guy's house, and the guy comes to the door and gets angry, and didn't point the gun at him, but kind of like this. He was a DEA agent, and he was getting sued for, I think it was child support or something.
And he was an agent?
Yeah. And I said to my son, why don't you call him? He says, I'm not getting involved in all that. I won't ever have to see that guy again.
Does somebody like just fucking take these headsets and say, what can I do to fuck them up today?
There's government employees that think they can do anything.
No, they get that syndrome. They're dangerous. They get into a squabble.
Yeah.
They can be dangerous.
Are you sure those price fixers or 30s verify? I think I'm paying for 60s on the lives for the first 2 weeks, but I don't know. Maybe I did do 30s. Fuck, how come my headphones are gone every day?
Mark,
like,
I don't know what you're talking about. I just wrapped those up. They weren't in there.
That's what I mean. I don't know who unplugs them and throws them away.
What they do is not only throw them, they tangle them up. They're just fucked up. Besides, you should have your own. I wouldn't use those people's, man. Why don't you bring your own? Or keep putting
nice ones.
Do you?
We're up.
There is no headline.
Oh.
Well, you don't have a headline.
What do you show on yours? Do you show hour 2 price fixer at 60?
Hold on.
Or maybe I'm looking at
You looking
yesterday's.
at me? Price fixer 60, hour 2.
I'm looking at yesterday's. Okay. That was yesterday's. My bad, bro. You know, I've never been wrong before.
You didn't get a
So
haircut.
technically, I wasn't actually wrong there. I was looking at the wrong days. I need a haircut.
You should have been a lawyer.
Did you just ask if I got one?
Yeah, you said you're going to go
I called you. I was right at your place around 6. I was going to see if you right at the bottom. There's a haircut place right at the bottom of your tower.
Yeah, I wasn't there yesterday. I only go there certain times.
I thought you were there because you had the kiddo.
Oh no, I have Dolce tonight.
Oh, I got it.
For a daddy night.
Oh, fuck! I won't go there. I don't like that haircut place. First of all, it's a fucking bar.
I love Floyd's.
Floyd's is great too. There's one in Castro.
I really like Floyd's.
They put together a good chair.
They're standard. They have good training.
I quit going to the one in Castro because the guy I really liked was also a barber, and no one there now has a barber license, so I can't get a. I like getting a fucking.
See?
Yeah, occasionally.
Really?
Not every time, but occasionally.
Is it closer than a regular shave?
Oh.
Really? Just with a single?
I said hi. I don't think you heard me.
You said what?
I said hi to David. Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. You better get your calls in. We have an abbreviated show today due to programming. 303-713-TALK. This won't affect our Colorado Springs audience. So, KRDO, you're fine. And KHOW, our flagship, be ducking out. We have live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on the iHeartRadio app, live at referrallist.com, which is our main website. And then, of course, you can stream, stream the podcast anywhere you can find it. You can find it in a lot of places. What's going on,
Tell
Mark?
them the exciting programming coming up at noon.
What is it?
CU women's basketball.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Can't wait.
They're doing well. Because,
no, actually, they're not.
Well, then we're usually preempted for, like, postseason, I thought. No? Am I wrong? I thought, okay.
If they win,
David, do you follow?
They'll continue.
You know what? I don't know about CU, but the other women's conferences are doing their conference tournament this week, and then the boys will start. The men will start in a week or two.
I truly believe, I'm just going to say it, I believe all sports should be open to all sexes, and there should be no any longer segregation of male and female.
Wait a minute. So NFL should have women in it?
Yep, I absolutely believe it. If they can pass the rigorous requirements.
How about female weightlifting?
Yes, of course.
Should have men.
No, what I'm saying is this. It shouldn't be female weightlifting. I'm saying this, that weightlifting is different. That's an individual thing. I'm talking about team sports. If the NFL, first of all, I don't believe the NFL is just male. I don't believe it is anymore, or the NBA. I don't know if there's a rule that says you have to be male. It's just that men have such an advantage. Now, mark what I'm saying. I am not saying that we should reduce the requirements to allow women, like lessen the requirement. I am saying that if a woman can step up and pass the rigorous testing or whatever it is to try out, they should be included. Now,
there wouldn't be any women's sports, though. That'd be the problem.
I don't buy the argument that, you should let, like with firefighters, in some jurisdictions, they lightened up the requirements saying it's not fair to women. Well, you see, nature is not fair to women. Women bear the children. Nature did that. We didn't do that. Nature made the woman's muscle mass less than the man's. That's nature. So if they can buck the trend, if they can build up themselves and be in the NFL, God, they deserve it, and they deserve to be in the NBA. And then if you want to have women's sports, fine, that's great too. But there's nothing wrong with having everything together. I mean, nature in itself will take care of everything else. It really will. I mean, I don't know why people get so shook up about any of this. I don't know why they get shook up about marriage. And as a consumer issue, who cares who gets married? In fact, I don't think the state should be involved in marriage to begin with. Why are they? Why should we have to go before the state and say, I take this woman, or I take this man, or we take each other? Why? What business is it of the government if we decide to unite and then we decide to break up? It's contractual law. I have never understood why we take a biblical principle. By the way, I'm not preaching religion. I'm just saying marriage, the only place marriage is mentioned, the only place is in the Bible. It's not mentioned in any other book anywhere. It was established from some writers in the Bible. Other people will tell you that was inspired by God. I'm not going there. All I'm saying is, if you look for the word marriage and you look for the union, you find it in the Bible. Now, why did the government take that one thing from the Bible and decide we're going to make it a state thing? Why is that? They didn't. What else did they take from the Bible? To, you know what else they took? Bankruptcy, to free people from debt. But I'm saying it's ridiculous. And I don't know how I got off on this tangent, but I'm going to get to the phones. 303-713-TALK. But truly, as a governmental thing, get the hell out of my life. I don't want you. You shouldn't be involved in marriage. You know, it's funny. People say, do you believe in gay marriage? No, I don't believe in heterosexual marriage. I don't believe in any marriage as far as state sanctioned. I believe you should be able to unite with anyone you want. Forget the state.
Yeah, but there's tax codes. There's reasons they do it. I mean, you know.
So who's saying that's correct?
I'm not saying it's correct. Well, they did it to push Christianity and a family, family circuit.
They actually didn't do it to push that. They did it for exactly what you said, economic reasons, period. I'm saying that you could still have, if you get married, and you could still have a different tax rate for households together. Who knows? I just think it's so ridiculous. And by the way, why should married people get a break? Why should they? I mean, why should a single person get a break? I never understood any of it. You know, if people want to be a family, let them be a family. If they don't want to be a family, don't be a family. Why should I have any say in who you love and who you marry? Who gives a damn? I'm Tom Martino. David Salisbury was perched to say something. David Salisbury is an attorney at law that does wills, probate. He does trusts. He does all kinds of law relating to your estate, death, and planning. Hi, David. What's happening? What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't disagree with you at all. The only thing I would say is society and government has decided that it is better for society for there to be a nuclear family, that there be a mother and a father, and that there be a
How did society decide that?
Well, I'm not saying that.
I think based on the Bible.
It started with the Bible, but I still think it's in the best.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's a wonderful thing. I love the nuclear family. I'm just saying it's not the state who tells us what a nuclear family is.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah, I'm all for families.
But that's why they
Mark
gave
is
breaks
right.
to it.
It's law, it's taxes, it's all those things that are in the best interest of government.
I wonder who first decided. Let's see. Those two people just got together, and they're living together, and they're having kids. I'm talking way back. Let's get involved. Let's require a license. I mean, a license. We're going to make you get a license. Okay, I got a license to get married. Now I'm married. I got a marriage license. Oh, you want to get divorced? We're going to tell you how to do that, too. Anyway, 303-713-TALK. Sometimes I just get pissed off at how society has gone about doing things, and I don't mind. I don't blame people for being upset. But what's really funny is instead of homosexuals saying we want to be recognized as a legal marriage, we want to be bound and tied down to your ridiculous rules. What they should be saying is get the hell out of marriage altogether. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, Ken. Welcome to the show. What's going on, Ken? Hi, Ken. Please be there. Okay, Ken is not there. Okay, we'll go to Kendra. Kendra, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Hi. I don't know what to do quite about my situation.
What is your situation?
Well, my ex-husband's daughter, who is 34 years old, has come into his home and got our daughter, who's 9, taken away by the state.
Hold on. I gotta unwind. Your ex-husband, you said?
Mm-hmm.
And your ex-husband has a daughter, not yours.
Mm-hmm.
And your ex-stepdaughter did what?
She told her therapist that my ex-husband had propositioned her to have sex with him and to keep it in the family.
So in other words, your ex-husband, her dad, her biological dad, is being accused.
Yes.
Okay, how does this affect you since you're out of that whole situation?
Because I'm the youngest daughter's mother.
But what does that have to do with this one? This one girl, this one stepdaughter, your ex-stepdaughter, for lack of a better term, how old is she?
34.
If she's 34,
mm-hmm.
How old is her dad?
51.
Now, if This 34-year-old woman is accusing a man of assault, and you have nothing to do with either of them. Why would it affect you at all?
Because of my 9-year-old daughter.
But why? Is she saying your 9-year-old was involved as well?
She's saying that she's scared that Joe would be
assaulting her too.
Yeah.
Okay, so she is saying, hey, my dad assaulted me. I'm afraid he's going to assault my half-sister. Is it her half-sister?
Yes.
Okay. But Joe is not living with you and her half-sister, is he?
No, he's not.
Then why should she care? I mean, why doesn't she just point to a bunch of other kids saying, and I'm afraid he's going to do her and her and her and her? Why? I mean, does he get unsupervised visitation?
He was the primary parent.
Is he the primary parent right now?
He is. He was, as of 2 months ago, he was until all of this happened.
Now what? Now where is she?
She is with my parents.
Okay. Who decided she was going to go with your parents?
Jefferson County Social Services.
Okay. Why were you not at least partial custodial parent in the beginning?
I do have secondary custody of my child, but right now I am in between homes.
Well, in the beginning, when you split from this guy, Joe.
Mm-hmm. Because he was the more stable parent.
Who's whispering in your ear the answers?
Oh, that was my husband.
Okay. How long have you been away from Joe?
I've been away from Joe for about 6 years.
Oh, okay. So what are you're concerned now that your daughter is with your parents?
No, my concern is that all these allegations against my ex-husband has caused a major ripple in my family. Like
how? I mean, how does it taint you? Hold on, and we'll examine that. I need to figure out where we're going with it. I understand the story. Now let's figure out where we're going with it. This hour, by the way, brought to you by FrankDuranTheRealEstateMan.com. And I've said this, and I mean it. And in fact, I defy anyone to prove differently, or just try him. You'll love him. This is not one of these, I defy you to do it. You're just going to love FrankDuranTheRealEstateMan.com. 303-920-1622. When you have an expert like him on your side, you'll get more for what you're selling. You'll get better deals when you're buying. FrankDuranTheRealEstateMan.com.
Love him.
Well, you did. You forgot to tell me.
He sends me business. They love him.
That's all. You didn't even know I had it up, did you?
Well, I knew you were putting it up, yeah.
No, I already had it put it up last night. Oh, guess what? It's performing. I knew it, dude. I knew it. I feel this shit. That thing is performing so far. 200 views, 3 shares, 8 comments.
We have to talk about it. Now, Dan is a little fancy. It's that I'm a little side thing.
No, I said she said on there.
9 with your traffic and weather. I'm Pete Wagner. 630 K-How.
KFC's got a variety of $20 fill-ups with extra crispy, original recipe, crispy tenders, or boneless chicken breasts. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 ways to feed your hungry family. KFC. It's finger-licking good.
Okay, write this down. Okay, it's John Fuller, and I want you to write down his phone number, because if you're ever injured or a friend is injured in a car accident, you're going to want to know about John Fuller for free legal advice. You're always going to have questions when you're in an auto accident. You always will. 303-597-4500. You get free legal advice. In fact, when you hire him, it's kind of free because you only pay if he collects, then he takes a small percentage. But you don't have to worry about any money. Just call him. 303-597-4500, John Fuller.
That thing took off like a rocket, man. A rocket. I knew it would, too. Okay, it's because I'm asking a question.
Hey, can you ask Daphne to bring my cup of coffee for me, please? Thank you.
We still got to do that Costco one. Picture this, Dave. Costco will return anything. I mean, that's kind of one of their deals. I want Dan to walk in with a pair of pants that he bought at Costco 2 years ago. Okay? And I think they have a rip in them, right? They have a rip in them. He bought them at Costco 2 years ago and returned them live on Facebook. But there's another wrinkle or a catch. He's going to return the pants that he's wearing. He's going to walk in wearing them with shorts underneath. Tell me that wouldn't go viral.
Security! Swarm!
I should do it, yeah. Why should I do it?
It is Bill. So that's, that's even the pants are.
I was going to be the reporter there.
Kramer's going to return the thing.
I see what you know what I'm saying? But let's put Costco to the test.
You know what? I had a friend who used to do that all the time. He'd buy stuff at Nordstrom's, keep it for a year or two, and then return it because they used to be, they'd take anything.
Well, I'd be the reporter, you know what I'm saying? Live on the scene. Live on the scene at Costco. with this crazy man trying to return these pants.
The very pants he was wearing.
You know what?
We've got to do it. We've got to do it, man. It'll be the best. The best, Jerry.
If you did it
Mine
at Walmart,
sits after going to like 6
nobody would
different
even
people in the
notice.
state trying to solve this problem.
I almost got caught one time in a
get that out
Walmart. This woman was walking around and
Yeah,
butt
so
cheeks
quick.
were
I
hanging
told
out,
them to
and she
be
had
prepared to
rolls
just state the
and
original
I'm like,
problem.
and she turned around like, I was going to put it up.
Well, I've seen one, they have pictures of Walmart. This lady's walking and she had a shit stain on her short.
Oh.
She returned him?
I gotta return these.
Oh, I know that.
Oh my God, that would be great.
It was a video, you know, you get those videos you click on, you know.
Woman returns Walmart pants with shit.
No, you want to
stain.
see something funny? I'm telling you, if I ever get on YouTube,
I know what he's going to say. Old men fight.
No. Walmart brawls. Walmart customer brawls.
Black Friday brawls at Walmart.
Or just Walmart brawls in general. The class of people that go there, I mean, in this fight, I'm saying, oh my God, these women get into fights in Walmart.
For buying something.
I don't know why.
Something will last.
And it's not all Black Friday.
That is so funny.
There was a whole section there. Walmart brawls.
You know, when I was a kid,
I got to see them at Neiman Marcus.
Women couldn't wear slacks, so they all wore dresses. And we'd be out on the playground, and two girls would get into a fight, and somebody would yell, "Go fight!" And everybody in the skirts are going up. You know, you're like 13, like
13 of those boys.
Cat fight!
Oh, the boys used to be at the bottom floor looking up. And you know what? Now they couldn't be president.
Oh my God, now they go to jail.
No, I'm not talking about it's acceptable now. I'm saying if they had done it 30 years prior, they can't be president. Did you ever did you and the boys ever look up the skirts there at the stairwell? Okay, you're done. Well, that was 30 years
I went to public school.
No, we used to drop pencils in the
was
bus.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
And then we would leave.
There were guys that did that, would throw a pen. They would throw a pen on their
Boys are so silly.
14, 15 years old. It was your life.
Right?
You can find a Playboy in the
I'm Tom Martino. We're going to get back to this problem with Kendra, her ex-husband, the sexual assault allegations. But I need to take Ken quickly. He's an attorney, and he's calling for a follow-up. Ken had a client who runs a transportation company that subcontracted to another company to provide rides for people with disabilities. And somewhere along the line, the mother company, the contractor who was contracting to the subcontractor, stopped paying. And Ken tried tirelessly to get paid. You tell the rest of the story, Ken. How much was the account balance due to your client?
Hi, Tom. It was about $40,000. The real issue was not that my client wasn't getting paid, it was that they weren't being put on the schedule at all because the main company, the main contractor, would not communicate with us at all, would not return calls, respond to emails.
Right, but do you think they were avoiding? Do you think they were avoiding you because of the accounts due?
No, I don't think that was the case. I think it was really more a matter of favoritism, cronyism.
Okay. Was there a money due? Was I correct in that? I thought there was money due to your company or not?
There may or may not have been a small amount due for services that had been provided, but the real problem was that they weren't putting us on the schedule to perform our services.
And you could not get through to anyone to even tell them the problem?
For 10 months, that's right.
Then what happened?
Then what happened was after they failed, after I failed as their attorney, and they wouldn't respond to me either, and I tried everything I could think of. I tried going through members of the legislature and through other departments of the government without success. I called you, and your staff made the difference.
How?
Your staff contacted the PR person for this contractor, which is a large company that does this kind of work in a number of different states, including Colorado, and let them know that they're ignoring my client and lack of professionalism was being discussed unfavorably on your show with a very large audience, and that got their attention, and that got them to finally call us. And from there, we were able to get some issues that were very minor and should have been solved months ago taken care of, and my client is now back on the schedule, performing their services and getting paid.
Wow.
And we're having separate discussions about trying to get them paid. They continued to perform their work without getting paid during those months because they didn't want to lose their clients.
Right, but
now we're working with them to see if they can get paid for that.
But now they're back on the regular schedule. You're pleased. Your client is pleased. We're happy we were able to help. I can't take all the credit. In fact, I can probably not take any credit, except I do crack the whip. And Deputy Daff, what was it, Daff? Just one call to PR? Was that it?
Yeah, pretty much.
They're good people. I mean, once you get through to them, isn't that weird?
Yeah, just had to get through to them.
And well, I know you stayed on top of it, though.
I did. I did have to call a few times, but we're happy it turned out this way.
So, Ken, thank you very much. We will be sending you our bill. Hey, I hope you. So we're just kidding. All right, fine. 303-713-TALK. So we will add about 40 grand to our list, plus whatever being on the schedule means, right? And help. Referrals. We do so much that's not monetarily measured. Now let's go back. Okay, let's go back. Kendra has an ex-husband who was accused of sexual assault on his adult daughter. For fears he would assault his younger daughter, for which he had full custody, they took the girl and placed her with in-laws. So now what I'm asking, Kendra's parents now have the child. Kendra, I need to explore just a minute without dragging you through the mud. Why were you denied parental custodial rights in the beginning? Is it because you were unstable with job and a place to live?
Yes. Okay.
So now that you're more stable and you have a current husband, why didn't they place her with you even if it was temporary?
Because Jessica had also told them that I do methamphetamines.
Okay, enough said. So there's going to be some controversy there. Whether or not you're fit. I'm not going to go there. So what do you want right now? What are you calling us about?
I need some kind of help because I don't know what to do because all these allegations are not true.
Which ones? The sexual or the drugs?
Any of them.
So you're saying that your ex-husband never had a problem, you don't think?
No, he's never had a problem. He's never...
But you don't know what happened with that 34-year-old daughter when she was younger.
No, he wasn't in her life when she was younger. She had come back into his life about 6 years ago.
Well, do you think? So why do you just discount it?
Well, because she disappeared for 6 years, and then she just came back because she got a felony menacing charge and had nowhere else to go except for to ask for Dad.
But why? What is her goal? What is her aim? What is her angle? Why accuse her father of sexual assault?
Because she hates her dad very much.
But why did she wait all this time?
I don't know.
Okay. What prompted it? You don't know?
I'm not sure. I wasn't there when all this happened.
You know, if I were you, I would not be so quick. Listen, I don't think we should jump on the bandwagon. I don't think we should automatically assume people are guilty. There are some cases, of course, where, geez, there are so many accusers. They can't all be wrong, right? Like with Bill Cosby or with R. Kelly. Is that his name? R. Kelly and people like that. But when it comes to this and your daughter, of course, you want safety. So are they investigating right now?
As far as I know, but...
Here's what I would do. I would not get involved in whether or not your ex-husband is guilty or innocent. I wouldn't get involved. Here's what I would do. If it was me, Or if I'm advising my sister or my mom, here's what I would say to do. You say to social services, anything I can do to help, I want to be able to help. Feel free to interview me. I wouldn't say, this is all BS, blah, 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 and say this. I am willing to do whatever it takes to get back my parental rights, and please tell me how to proceed. If it means blood and urine and alcohol, testing, I'll do that. Like, you should be willing to do that. If you're not doing any drugs, why not? So that's what I would do. I would open myself up and say, I am available to help in any way I can. I wouldn't fight. I would go along and ask how I can help, and then submit to whatever testing they want. How about that?
And I have been doing that. And
what do you mean? Hold on. What does that mean? I don't. So have you been submitting to urine and blood tests?
They haven't been contacting me.
So you haven't been doing that. So when you said I have been doing that, help me understand what you mean.
I would be more than happy to help.
Okay. When did you tell them that?
When all this started.
Where? How did you tell them? How did you tell them?
When the caseworker first called me and asked me
good. You should put that.
questions.
That's good. You're really good that you said that in the beginning. You should write a letter to the court and write a letter to social services and put it in writing that you're available. And are you allowed to see your daughter with your parents?
Yes, I am.
With supervised visits?
Yes.
That's wonderful. So you can't have them unsupervised?
I can't have them unsupervised.
Okay.
I can't have overnights.
There is a procedure, Kendra. There is a procedure for going forward to getting your parental rights back. There is a procedure. You know what it is? Have they told you?
Yes.
Okay, what is the procedure?
I have to go through everything they want me to go through, which is UAs, classes, and everything in order to get my daughter back when all of these allegations are not true.
You've never done drugs.
No. When my daughter was first born, we got her taken from the state, and him and I did FIT court, which is Family Integrated Treatment Court. And him and I passed within, we graduated that within 7 months, and that's the fastest return of child.
So, Kedron, I'm not accusing you. Understand, I'm not accusing you of anything. What I'm saying is that I have found that people who go along instead of fighting get along better.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's all I'm saying. Listen.
This whole thing I don't understand how, because of those accusations that they have no proof, no evidence, no nothing other than
some of it's based on your past, so
you're right. And again, submit to the testing, submit to the classes. They'll find out in a hurry. Look, there are people who are falsely accused all the time. I don't doubt that.
If you follow the system, I mean, you'll get through it. You're paying the
If you're
piper
asking
right now.
what to do, Kendra, that's what you need to do. There is no free legal help available, just so you know. I am so tired of telling people this. There is no free help available. Okay? We can get you free advice from our family law attorney, and our family law attorney in this situation recommends, in similar situations, that parents go along with the program.
The bad thing on the law on this is they'll never go after the daughter even if they prove that she's lying. That's what's bad about our system.
Isn't it terrible? Oh, you can hurl any. Look, in my case, nothing was ever done.
And that was a police officer, wasn't it?
Let's start off with
Yeah, but that wasn't for the courts. But I'm saying, when you're falsely accused, the accuser never.
And that's what's, like I said,
there is no downside to accusing. Now, if you file a false report, that's bad. You can get in trouble for that.
They have to prove it. Even that is very...
No, because you're allowed to call if you think something is happening. Or if you're drunk.
A false report would be, I saw this happen.
Well,
and they find out you weren't even there.
That actor who said he was,
that's
accosted
a false
by,
report.
turned out to be people he knew.
What's happening to him?
He's been charged.
It was in the news so long it burned out.
I doubt it.
He might on that FBI charge to sending the white power.
Oh,
yeah. He might have to pay, too, some costs, too.
You can lie to the local police.
Okay, guys, I'm on.
All you want, not the FBI.
Fix it 24/7. The $39 people, remember that. A $39 or free call. Get a licensed, insured, background checked HVAC tech or plumber to your home for just $39 to find any problem, even electrical. If they can't find the problem, I'd be astounded, but it'll be free. But they can find it, and when they do find it, you get a chance to get it fixed, and they'll credit you the $39 or all.
It's getting comments every minute. Basically.
Oh, remind me, Mark.
Remind you what?
Please.
No, I don't know if I want you to say anything.
No, come on, Mark. Remind me. We got to. Really.
I mean, look at the Duke lacrosse. You know, that lady there. Nothing.
No, she was a hooker, right? Or a dancer.
Well,
yeah, she was a hooker.
Yeah, exactly.
She got
okay, we're on.
She was a whore.
Guys. Crackerjack mudjacking. When I say that, I want you to think of a company that repairs concrete by pumping mud underneath it. And you don't have to know the technicalities. Listen, most all concrete problems come from voids underneath. Cracks, heaving, sinking. They can fix it even in tight areas like your basement. Crackerjack mudjacking, been doing it for 20 years with 60,000 jobs under their belt. CrackerjackMudjacking.com. All work guaranteed. 303-410-7787. No work too big or too small. 303-410-7787.
They did sue the school.
God, there is not one person.
And that DA lost his license.
What DA?
Duke,
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Wasn't that ridiculous?
Oh, it was crazy.
You know what one of the kids' fathers said when they were found to be not involved? He said, no matter what my son does in life,
in calling
when he
the
dies, part of his
they will.
Part of his epitaph will be he was involved in the deal.
Every time somebody does anything with me, they'll always mention the false accusation. Doesn't matter. Accused, doesn't matter.
I know. And you can't make it go away.
No. And I got it expunged, you know, that's funny. and the law says it's as if it never happened. Who cares?
Then why are we talking about it?
No, that like I say, but it was undisclosed amount they sued the school for. That was a good thing.
Minimum fee applies. Income.
You understand expungement is even stronger than pardon because
a pardon says you did it.
Right.
Well, yeah.
You don't get a pardon unless you were convicted.
Yeah,
you're forgiven.
What's the other word for that, though? There's not just a pardon,
well, you can commute a sentence.
Commute is
which is different. You're not pardoning and then saying we'll let you go.
Commuting is saying it should have never happened. It's over. Just like expungement.
A pardon. No, a pardon saying it did happen.
I said the commuting.
The commuting.
The pardon is saying, okay, we forgive you.
What is it when you do good for a period of time, then everything goes away?
Early release.
Deferred judgment.
A deferred.
Oh, I see.
So technically, what does that mean?
That means that.
Did it happen?
Well, yes, it did, but they deferred the sentencing or the judgment. No, not sentencing, the judgment. They deferred it. So, yeah, in a way, though, technically, you don't have a conviction. You don't.
There's no conviction. Okay.
But you do have a record for deferred judgment.
Yeah. I think when I was like 16, I got a deferred judgment.
So I started looking, and then Jewel came up. I did both for a while.
With an expungement, you can't even find it on the record.
I borrowed a car.
I remember recently you asking me.
They said I didn't borrow, but I did borrow.
No, I don't need to.
And I returned it exactly where I found it.
July 2015.
Folks,
make the switch.
Who did the car belong to?
That's
Neighbor.
he lived 10 miles away.
Neighbor happened to be parked at a mall.
I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show, 303-713-8255. Hey, One Clear Choice Garage Doors. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. The best garage door company I've come across. There are plenty of good ones, trust me, but they are the best. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. Let's talk about your problems, questions, complaints. And let's not forget David Salisbury's here. If you have any questions on wills, trusts, probate, or related law, we do have some emails we saved for him we'll get to. But right now I want to go to the phones for people who have been waiting. Tom, what's going on in your life?
Hello?
Yes, Tom. And by the way, Tom's an example of someone who contacted us, and we got back to him. Anybody can do that 24/7 at 303 Martino. What's going on with you, Tom?
Well, I sent you some contracts and things.
I'm going to look at it and have our attorney peruse them. What's going on with, give me a shortcut. Tell me what's happening.
Okay, about a year ago, my girlfriend and I signed a contract to buy the condo I've been living in for 12 years.
1 year ago, signed contract to purchase, okay? And when was the closing supposed to be?
It's supposed to be Monday, a couple days
Now,
ago.
now, what I don't understand is people don't usually have such a long period of time between signing and closing. Why was it such a long period of time?
Well, we had a payment schedule where we were paying $1,200 a month.
In addition to your normal rent?
No, we put $40,000 down. The seller needed, which was
earnest money, right?
Yeah, it was earnest money.
And then what? And then what do you mean $1,200 a month?
And we paid $1,200 a month towards the.
And where did that $1,200 come from? Did you make a $1,200 payment, or was it subtracted from the earnest money, or was it part of the rent?
No, I made a $1,200 payment.
In addition to your rent?
No.
Okay, then you're not making sense to me, Tom. You're not making. I asked you if it was part of the rent. No. I made a $1,200 payment, so it was part of the rent. No. Where did the $1,200?
We had a contract to buy and sell that was signed, let's say, last April.
I understand, Tom. I only have one question. In addition to the $40,000, you paid in an extra $1,200 a month toward purchase. That's a yes or a no?
Yes.
Where did that $1,200 come from, sir? Where did it come from?
I also paid $1,207 a month towards the HOA. The HOA payment that was due.
Okay, what I need to know is this. Every month, you wrote a check for $1,200 plus $1,200. Is that right?
Yes.
And did you write a check for rent?
No.
Okay. There we go. So the $1,200 plus $1,200 is all that you paid, but you were not being charged rent.
Yes. Correct.
Okay, so at the end of a year, that $1,200 per month that you were paying should be added to the $40,000, right? So you have credit for it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm with you. So now, what the heck happened?
Well, shortly after we signed the contract for a year to purchase, my girlfriend. Company was bought out, and her position was eliminated.
So you were no longer in the market to purchase, and you knew that when?
Oh, around June.
And did you let them know that?
No, we wanted to continue to try to purchase.
Oh, okay. So what happened then? What's going on right now that you called us?
We looked for hard money loans.
I get you.
And we also attempted to try to sell it because the property appreciated quite a bit.
Hey, Tom, I want to ask a few questions, okay? What is the property? Is it a single-family home or a condo or a townhome?
It's a condo.
Condo. And tell me about it. How many square feet?
2170 square feet.
And where is it located? Where is it located?
It's at the Beauvalon, which is at 9th and Lincoln, downtown Denver.
That's really nice? Is it?
Yes, it's very nice.
Okay, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Okay.
2.5 baths.
All right, and you got 2,100 square feet. What's the market value for that, without exaggerating one way or the other?
Right around $700,000.
Okay, now
today,
it's not difficult to get a loan. It really isn't with a good property, and you already have $54,400 down. So what's the problem?
Well, as I said, Bonnie, my girlfriend, was unemployed, and I'd had cancer the year before. Was fighting cancer.
So you wouldn't qualify, is what you're saying. To make a long story short,
we couldn't qualify.
Okay, so what does the contract say when you cancel for non-qualification? What does it say happens?
it says if we cancel that we're to get a refund of the earnest money minus. My rent was $25.75.
I understand. You should pay for that. You should, but you already were paying. You're paying a lot of money. You're paying toward the HOA plus you were paying the other. So, but it doesn't address the HOA in this. Like, here's all I need to know. Without going through the contract, I'm sure you looked at it. Tell me, what does the contract say happens to that money that you paid in per month? Not the 40 grand, but the other money. What does the contract say? Here, David, why don't you look at it?
It says that the 2407 gets credited towards a rental payment of $25.75.
Okay, all right. So you're negative. So okay, so at the end of the year, you'd be backwards $1,200 for rent. So you should get basically your 40 grand back.
Yes.
Okay. Are they going to give the 40 grand back?
No.
Did this person have a real?
Refusing.
Did this person have a real estate agent?
The person, it was a married couple, and one of them is a real estate agent.
Well, they should have put this money in trust. Did they? I need to know. They told you flat out you're not getting your 40 grand.
Yes.
Why? They must have given you a reason. Whether you agree with the reason or not, we'll examine that reason coming back.
I need to know, why the fuck do they think they can keep 40,000?
In fact, it says number 20 has got the earnest money dispute and then termination.
Tom, about 45 seconds. Raleigh House, 30 seconds stop.
To the tunnel. US 6 over Loveland Pass is closed. Highway 6 and Clear Creek Canyon is closed. The mountains are closed. Back in town, got a few crashes. Watch out for wreck being cleared northbound I-25 past 23rd.
If buyer's in default, seller may cancel this contract. All earnest money, whether or not paid by buyer, will be paid to seller and retained by seller.
You interpret that for me? I need to do this spot.
20 seconds.
20 seconds.
30 spot.
We can do it after 6:30. After the spot.
What am I saying? Based on what I'm saying, the seller, it's number 17.1.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, we'll talk about it quick. I got to do this spot.
I mean, this is going through quickly.
5 seconds. The Raleigh House is a treatment addiction facility, several locations in the Denver area, including a beautiful rural setting. This number I'm going to give you is for you to ask any question you have when it comes to addiction and addiction treatment and cost and approaching an addict and telltale signs. Really, any question confidentially and complimentary. TheRaleighHouse.com, 720-730-9722, 720-730-9722. Okay, what does it say? David, I'm listening now.
Okay. And I'm reading 17, which makes me... if any payment due, I'm saying this for a reason, including earnest money, is not paid, honored, or tendered when due, blah, blah, blah,
That's
blah.
not the issue.
That's not the issue. But it says the non-defaulting party has the following remedies. Well, he did pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So that doesn't...
He's just not closing.
But, right. If buyer's in default, all earnest money will be paid to seller and retained by seller.
But he's
It's
not,
liquidated damages.
But he's not in default.
Who?
He is in default. He surely is in
I
default.
thought
He's
the
not going to
buyer's
buy
in
it.
default.
No, he's trying to sell it.
Well, he didn't have to let
But
it
he's
sell.
not buying it, and that there's a deadline coming up. And when he gets to that deadline, he defaulted.
And that's what the liquidated damages are for, so they don't, so the seller doesn't sue you. But he gave him $40,000,
That's
which was a
liquidated
mistake.
damages. Where the fuck does he get off saying it's refundable? It's not.
No, I understand this, but he wants
Hold
to
on.
sell it.
I know.
Okay.
And if he does, he'd be fine. He would just have someone stand in his...
Right, so they pulled his thing from, they won't let him sell it.
They can't prevent him from selling it.
That's the thing.
Earnest money dispute. Except as
It's not an earnest money dispute. That's what's funny about it. If he doesn't buy it, he defaulted. They don't have to let him sell it. But how do they prevent it? All he does is fucking take their money and buy it.
They're pulling, let's see,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying and stuff. But
If you wanted to buy it, I would take your money and buy it. And I have a side agreement that I sign it over to you as soon as I do.
They're taking down the listing and the ads.
Okay.
What does that have to do with anything?
They're preventing him from selling it.
Oh, they won't let him advertise?
Right.
How can they stop him?
That's for your.
First of all, listen. First of all, technically they don't have to let him. Okay, they don't. They don't have to let him sell it. It doesn't say in there. It doesn't say his assigns. Is this transferable to somebody else?
Hold on.
Not by them, by him. It's very clear if you have assigns. Now, if you're asking me, is that fair? No, it sucks.
Oh, here we go. In the event that the buyer chooses to assign this contract, if the purchase price to the assigned party is greater than the price in this contract, the difference will be divided between buyer
Oh,
and
that
seller.
means if you do sell it, you have to split the difference with us.
The difference of the profit or difference of the earnest.
So,
If the
hold on.
purchase price to
If he
the
assigns
assigned
it, he
party
can assign it.
is greater.
And then he gets half
Of the profit.
plus his earnest money back.
No, the earnest
No.
money is in it. He's buying it and reselling it. He doesn't get his earnest money back. He's fucking buying it. When you assign something, you have purchased it to assign it.
Okay.
Now, don't get pissed if there's something
You know,
else in here.
he might take $40,000 in earnest money and get it back. But look at a big bucket, Dan. In order to assign it, you have to own it. So he's passing it over. They're paying everything. He's getting the profit. Presumably, it'll be more than half of, presumably it'll be more than the earnest money.
You need to ask him whether he gave a notice to terminate, which it sounds like he didn't. If the notice to terminate is not received on or before the applicable deadline, if it's not received on or before,
How many days?
the party with the right to terminate.
How many days before does he have to terminate? Because it hasn't terminated. He can do it at any time, it seems like.
That's what it looks like to hear.
Notice to terminate.
Other before the applicable deadline, and that I don't know what the answer is.
Notice to terminate.
But if it's not received, the party with the right to terminate accepts the specific effective
Splits
termination.
profit
It's free for card members. Just sign up online.
on assignability. But assignability is different than selling. It is really different.
Dude, that video's killing, man. It ain't no Ford video, but it's fucking killing. The interaction is wild. We've got to learn to monetize these good ones.
He's really screwed up that he didn't.
It says in the event this contract is terminated, all earnest money received for ownership will be returned except the $1,200 per month.
Yeah, but then it says in
But
another space.
above it, what it says is you've got to give the termination, a written termination, in order to.
So that's different than default.
Yeah, and he's in default.
I'm Tom Martino. This is a very strange contract. David Salisbury, who has done some real estate law, he's looking at it. Very strange. Now, remember, all we have to go by is this contract. This is not to be construed as legal advice for you. This is what we are seeing. Now, Tom, I'm going to tell it to you like this. First and foremost, if you default, meaning you get to the deadline and you're unable to purchase, you forfeit the earnest money. It doesn't say that it's refundable, and I don't know where you got that. However, there is a section that says if the contract is terminated. Now listen, contracts end in different ways. They end with fulfillment, they end with default, and they end with termination. Well, isn't a default a termination? Yes, it is. But in this case, it addresses two different endings. It addresses three different endings. It addresses an assignment. If you assign it, they get half of any profit you make. If you assign it, not if you sell it, if you assign it. That means you know someone who will take it over, and they're paying you for that, and then you split that. Or you can, the other one is you default, meaning you just don't do anything and you lose. They take your money. However, if you terminate, from what we can see, David Salisbury read this, if you terminate with a notice of termination, it seems like everything is returned on that 40 grand. Now, did you give a written notice of termination?
Yes.
it sounds like you fulfilled the contract because
I sent it to you. I sent you the termination notice.
it should be in that pile. Now, if you had a written letter to terminate and they're not recognizing it, instead they are calling it a default. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
You need to hire an attorney because that's 40 grand they're keeping. I mean, you really need to sue them because that money comes back to you if you terminated. But David, you know what I find extremely queer here is that they're saying that if you, listen, this is what they're saying. If you default, you don't get your money back. But if you terminate, you do. Why would everybody in the world would just terminate? Why would you let it go to default? You would just write a letter saying, we terminate. I mean,
we had to have good reason. We had
Okay.
to have good reason.
No, it doesn't say. Hold on. Tom, did you read the contract?
Yes.
Okay.
I practically wrote it.
Oh, good. You practically wrote it. This is wonderful. Tell me where it says that termination must be for a good reason. Show me that. Because we really want to help you. So tell me where it says that. We did not see that.
Well, if you don't agree with that,
I didn't say no. You didn't hear me say I disagree. I said please show me where it is in the contract. We want to help you. I hope it's there.
Okay, I'm looking at it. I'm
Good.
looking for it right
You
now.
hold on. You hold on. And then find the area. Because really, all you have to do is terminate. And you did. And you should get your money back. But they won't. But you said, oh, it has to be for a good reason. Why you hopped on their side, I don't know. But you show me where it says you have to have a good reason. Mark, welcome to the show. Mark?
Oh, yep. Hey, Mark here.
How are you doing, Mark? Do you want to know about a car lease?
Yeah, I was curious. So if you go to the dealership, you get a 3-year lease. That's kind of standard. My neighbor is an auto broker, and he's able to lease cars for 5 years through a credit union.
Yeah, you can do, hold on, there are 2-year leases, there are 3-year leases, there are 4-year leases, 5-year leases, and 7-year leases. So you want to know what is best or what difference there is?
Yeah, exactly. I want to see what's best, and in my head, I'm thinking.
Now listen to this.
Under manufacturer warranty.
Listen to this. Listen to this. When you lease, you're only leasing use of the car. You're only financing, for lack of a better word, the depreciated amount of the car during the time you own it. That's why it's predicated on mileage. So if you use it for 3 years, they're trying to predict what the car will be worth at the end of that 3-year lease. You will be paying for use of that car. Just like if you have an apple and you say to the guy, I'm going to return half of this apple to you. Okay? You're only going to be charged for the half of the apple you're eating. So, in a 2-year lease, most of the pain occurs, meaning you're going to have the highest amount of depreciation. If you add a year, you get a little more depreciation. The benefit of a lease is diminished in 4-, 5-, and 7-year leases because most of the depreciation has already occurred. So you don't get much benefit going longer, but there is some strategy you need to know about. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back, and we're going to decide which is best for you, beyond a shadow of a doubt. I'm Tom Martino. Which lease is best for him or for you? 303-713-TALK. We'll come back and talk about that and more.
Tom, this is pretty quick. You might want to read that.
What do you think?
Basically,
is there something that says you have to have a good reason?
It's a letter from the sellers to the buyer, reminding them of the closing, reminding them of one of their obligations to deal with the title insurance, and it says that if they don't do these things, this is a notice of default with them, and
they request your selection of local title company.
And they keep the earnest money.
Will also serve as official written notice of default effective March 4th.
That's when they should have closed.
Listen, very quick.
They're done now.
I honestly feel like I remember recently you asking me, like, did you want to smoke before we go in? I was like, no, I don't need to.
Mimi made the switch July 2015. Make the switch at Juul.com. That's JUUL.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Now, your call, man. Here's what okay. Okay.
What's that about?
Leaving, the question, do we have a legal right? We could argue that.
Because she shared it with a radio station.
I know, but did she say from the very beginning not to use it?
No.
Dan, she did? No. Then we'll take it down.
From the very beginning when she sent it?
As soon as she sent it, the email said.
No. Where's the video, the email when she sent it?
First of all,
no, not when she sent it, but the next one.
Okay, so we put it up not knowing she didn't want it, but now she's giving us notice. Technically, we don't have to, but you know, there's no reason to keep it up.
Okay.
I mean, there really isn't, other than we just want to cause sensation for us.
I wonder how let me see here.
Delete the post.
Okay. Are you sure? Yeah. Well, that, almost 1,006 shares in less than 45 minutes.
Yeah, I know it sucks.
All right, tell her we took it down. I had no idea. I have no idea why she wouldn't want it up either. Besides the fact everybody thought she was the nut.
Well, the reason she's saying it is because she thinks if that guy comes back and tries to sue her.
Sue her for what?
I don't know.
For being a nut? Here, I sue you for being
What did
a
she
nut.
do? What's the video?
I showed you now. She's following. She called yesterday and said he's harassing her at the gym.
Okay.
It's a stepson. So she sends us a video. The video is of her with her phone recording, walking all the way across the gym like a half a fucking mile and getting into his face while he's working out. She was literally harassing him.
Yeah.
And that's what 50, 60 people commented in like a very short amount of time.
So it was posted?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she didn't say not to post it till today.
Well, she had no expectation
What I
of
wonder
privacy.
is
Once
how she got
gave
my
it to
cell phone number.
I have no idea.
Wow.
It came on your cell phone number.
Well, we gave her my Google Voice number yesterday. Maybe that's
Oh, that's okay.
That's what it is.
That's
Never
what
mind.
it is. That's
Anyhow, it's down.
Pros know getting the next job means doing this one right. Lowe's is here to help with brands you need to power through any job. Shop the largest assortment of Bosch power.
I mean, when she first sent it, she should have said that. And even if she did, what's that got to do with anything? She sent it to a fucking radio station. I mean,
That's like, and with all due respect, when people post like nude photos of their girlfriend or their boyfriend, you've let someone take that picture. You've allowed it.
They own that picture.
They own that picture.
The photographer
And
owns it.
now, if they want to put it up on the internet, they can do any damn thing
Can
they
they?
want with it. I think so.
I thought that.
They're trying to make some laws in different states that they call revenge laws.
Right. And you know what? I mean, don't let people take pictures of
Well,
you
that's
nude
the moral to the
or in
story.
compromising positions, because you can't determine at that point if you let somebody put it on their camera phone.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
So Jeff Bezos was going after the people that posted his dick pic.
No, but he's going after him for blackmail is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Because they said either do this or do that or we're posting that.
That is blackmail.
Well, the courts will decide if it is. They're saying it wasn't. They're saying that's not what we said to him.
Oh.
Oh, it was all verbal.
I don't know. I don't know what was it.
1 minute. We got a spot.
It's finger licking good.
It may not be stomach issues.
That woman's. She walks up to him harassing.
Or diarrhea, sometimes all at once. Over and over.
I don't understand that. So,
Years with the symptoms, but you never figure it
if
out.
someone sends us a video,
They never went away.
We can use
and then the next day they don't want it up,
We can use it.
okay. So it's purely just
okay?
what we wanted.
Here's why.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be straight with you.
Yeah.
I bear the legal expenses.
Yeah.
And even if we're right, this could generate some legal expenses.
Yeah.
Stomach pain,
I got you.
unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just
There is this addendum, which isn't signed and isn't dated, where this is from the buyer, from the guy calling. And he's talking about that the contract was...
Okay, guys, 10 seconds.
Okay. Sorry.
When is the price fixer one?
If you buy windows from K&H Home Solutions this month, you get a free upgrade to triple pane glass. That is an hell of an upgrade for no extra money at all. Plus, they do siding, and they do doors, and roofing and gutters as well. But right now, this window special, you buy windows, beautiful windows that are durable, energy efficient, custom fit, made to K&H specs, and you get triple pane upgrade for no extra cost. I urge you to give them a call and find out about the triple pane upgrade. While you're at it, ask about the Everlast siding. Oh my God, is it wonderful. Lifetime of durability. Waterproof, color fast. The color's impregnated. A wide palette of colors, rich cedar looking like the texture. That is K&H Home Solutions, 303-421-7100, khwindows.com, 303-421-7100.
Hey, did you say 30 days of termination they need?
Excuse me?
30 days of termination, is that what they need?
I didn't see that.
I thought you said so many days to terminate.
Are you going to drink this?
Go ahead, thank you.
If I said that, I don't know if that's correct.
You've been doing really good on water, man.
What I can't understand is why I stopped liking Diet Coke.
I love water. Well, because they changed the recipe. That's why.
That's why they screwed you.
Remember when they did New Coke back in the day and they blew that shit to hell? That was a huge problem.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino. This is the Troubleshooter Show. I'm a consumer advocate going on 40 years fighting for you. Answering questions, taking complaints, making your life just a little easier. And all you have to do is call. We love what we do this hour. Brought to you by, this is great, ApprovalReverse.com. Approval Reverse Mortgages. I want to make this very clear. Reverse mortgages are not good in most cases. Here's the deal. It's to use your equity, and it will eat up a lot of equity. If there's any equity left over, you get to keep it. You can move, you can terminate, you can sell, you can do whatever you want. It's still your house, but if you decide to keep it forever, and it even accrues more than the house is worth, you or your estate will never be in the hole ever because the house is the most you would ever owe. ApprovalReverse.com, 303-771-3528, 771-3528. I say that right off the bat because we have some sponsors that really want to get the word out as quickly as possible. You never know when the government's going to change things, right? Let's go to the phones for people who've been waiting. And we have some people we left off with, too. The car lease is the first one I'm going to. Then this earnest money thing, we've been looking at it more and more. Mark, here's the deal. Since in a lease, you are financing the depreciation of a vehicle, most of that depreciation happens in 2 years. Now, you can spread that out to 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 7 years. The only thing you're doing is making the payments slightly lower. But the main thing about a lease, people ask, am I in favor of a lease? And I say, absolutely. But listen carefully. The lease is the worst thing you can do if you do not abide by every single detail. And it's the best way to buy the car if you can abide by every single detail, with one caveat only. The acquisition cost must be accurate and a good deal. A lot of people make the mistake, and the reason dealers love pushing leases is because the payment is low. Why is the payment low? Because you are only financing the depreciation. At the end of the lease, there's still money owed, or you turn the car in. So here's the key. Because that payment is lower than buying, they boost the acquisition cost to keep the payment still lower than buying, but it becomes now a bad deal. You see, because you're not looking at the purchase price, you're looking at the payment. If it's a $200 difference in payment and they add another $50 to your payment and boost the acquisition cost, it has now become a very bad deal. And therefore, you're overpaying for the car, you're overpaying the residual, and it's not an accurate comparison. So never compare payments. Look at the acquisition cost. That acquisition cost must be at least the same or preferably lower than if you're buying it. That's the first rule. Then you decide what terms and conditions can you live with, because a lease is a good thing if the acquisition cost is good and you can live by the terms. Meaning, don't talk yourself into one at 12,000 miles if you know you're going to drive 18 or 20,000 miles. And you really need to be honest with yourself on how much you're going to use the car. Then you must keep the car in excellent condition and maintained, and you must return it pretty much in new condition, other than miles and stuff. So please be aware of that. What did you want to ask?
So when you're comparing your acquisition costs, obviously you have the cost of the car and you're paying for the depreciation. They're making the judgment on the depreciation. Is there a good way to judge that by looking at that same model car, what it looks like 3 or 5 years out,
remember,
on the term of the lease?
These residual values are set by the industry, and they're pretty damn accurate. It's not that individual dealer doing it. They are predicting what they can sell that car for at the end. So
you're paying the depreciation. How do you know what? So they could just couldn't they just say, okay, the dealers or the market says it's going to be 20 grand after the 3 years, but we want to boost that payment, so we're going to say it's going to be 15 grand. They have no reason to do that. Boosting the payment.
What they would rather do. What they would rather do is raise the residual value, then they get more for the car. Listen, if they sell the car, the acquisition cost at $40,000. Listen carefully, people. So now that car to acquire is $40,000. It's going to depreciate a certain amount over the lease, and you pay the residual. If they lower the residual, that's ridiculous. What they want to do is raise the residual to make you think you have more of an investment than you do. So at the end, if the true residual on that car is 20 and they tell you it's 30, then you're willing to pay more for that car in the beginning. So Mark, I don't think you understand enough to even ask the question you're trying to ask. They would not lower the residual to make the payment more. They're going to try to make that payment as little as possible to screw you. And then when they raise the payment, it's going to be to compare it to buying and to add junk to it, to add profit to it. All the extra stuff, the credit life and all the other stuff. All I want you to do is not add anything extra to that car. Don't buy any insurance whatsoever, and simply compare the leases. If you can drive that car for X amount of miles, and you're definitely going to keep it for 3 years, or 4 or 5 or 6, then do it if you really can live by the lease. But listen carefully. The worst thing you can do is an early termination. And I don't care what anyone tells you. I don't care who tells you. You will never, ever, ever come out ahead if you terminate that lease early. Never. It just won't happen. The other thing is this, okay? You got to be really careful. Never trade a car in when you're leasing a car. Ever. That trade will be evaporated. They steal it.
I've also been told to never put money down as well.
Well, that doesn't matter. If you know the real acquisition cost of the car, the real acquisition, like you could buy that car for $35,000, and that acquisition cost on the lease is $35,000, and you put $2,000 down and can see the acquisition drop accordingly, then there's nothing wrong with putting money down.
But if you total, let's say you put down $5,000 and you totaled the car a week later, the gap coverage won't pay you back. It pays back the dealership the value, so your money evaporates, though, doesn't it?
Well, if you put $5,000 down and you drive away, it's going, even if you bought it, the same exact thing would happen. The insurance will pay the value of the car. The gap insurance will pay up to 125%. And so you just have to do the math. But if you're asking, is it worse to put money down on a lease than it is for a purchase? The answer is they are exactly the same. Okay. As long as you truly, truly know the acquisition cost. So you should shop for the car first to find out what they really are selling for. at the best deal possible. Then, when you go to lease it, make sure it's the same price.
And this is something you guys do, right?
Well, we have offered to do it for people free of charge, but
I'll help them buy a new car. I'm not going to help them lease anything.
Why is that?
I just don't. I've never leased a vehicle in my life, and I just.
Oh, okay. Mark's never leased, so he's not going to do it. So, yeah, I would look at a lease for you free of charge for the economics, not the law. Yes, I would.
Have you ever leased one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I love leasing. I love it. There's nothing wrong with leasing, but you just have to know what you're doing. The reason Mark buys is he has control of the asset completely. He does different things. He uses it differently. He sells it at its peak. He doesn't necessarily wait for the end. And with a lease, you don't do that. You'll never come out ahead if you early terminate. So, if, for example, if Mark sees that the value of the car is at a certain peak and can get money on it, you see, the early termination is what kills you with a lease. That's why I said you have to be absolutely sure you're going to keep the car. Mark, do you keep cars for 5 years?
No.
Not you. This is Mark Caller. Do you, Mark?
Yeah, I do, and that's why I was thinking, because I can live with a payment about $500 a month.
Yeah.
And if I do a 3-year lease, it's $650. A 5-year lease, and the car would still be under warranty, 12,000 miles, and I actually drive a little less than that.
How much is that?
Wait, how many miles a year do you drive?
About 9, 10.
Yeah, you're really a good lease candidate. But listen, make sure when you drop, this is another trick they do. When you drop from a 4-year lease to a 3, or a 3 go up to 4, make sure the acquisition cost stays the same. Okay? And make sure the interest factor, they don't call it interest rate, they call it a factor. Make sure it stays the same. You just have to, listen, we'll look over any lease you get. 303-713-8255.
You know, most dealers won't let a lease go out and to have somebody examine.
1 minute, price fixer, 60 spot.
That's Mark. I don't know of any that will let people examine a lease off premises.
Conference could be shut down for a good chunk of the day. Westbound I-70 is closed between the fire and the tunnel. Watch out for the closure of US 6 over Loveland Pass. That's shut down. Highway 6 and Clear Creek Canyon shut down for rockfall mitigation.
What time is the show over?
Noon today.
Wow. Okay.
Just because of this time of year, they have contractual agreements with iHeart to play women's basketball.
Right.
Mostly cloudy skies in the Mile High City and 49. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner.
They're not going to win either. They have, according to Tim, there's no way they can win today. I mean, they're such underdogs, like, you know,
Where are they playing?
like a chicken going to a horse race. Hold on.
Don't worry about it.
All right, Price Fixer Denver. Everybody's asking me why are they the best place to buy a new furnace or air conditioner? Well, they teamed up with the largest seller of furnaces and air conditioners in the country. They get a rebate back when you buy it. That's what makes their prices so low. But they'll bring it out, they'll install it. In the price that you get at PriceFixerDenver.com will include the permit. You'll see the pricing up front. In fact, it's very upfront pricing. And on top of that, it's the lowest price guarantee. The lowest price guarantee they offer on anything you purchase. They also do service. But listen, just go right now to PriceFixerDenver.com. See how much a new furnace or air conditioner is. It's that simple. If you already purchased one, pull out that old receipt and see how much you overpaid. So next time, you know where to go. PriceFixerDenver.com. The one place I can guarantee you the lowest price on a new air conditioner or a new furnace. PriceFixerDenver.com. By the way, they also do service. No diagnostic, trip charges, or anything else. PriceFixerDenver.com.
What happened to that on time every time?
I forgot to turn around that stupid thing. How long was it?
About 2 seconds over.
2 seconds.
God. He's tough. He's tough.
He is tough.
Fair, but
I know a guy that goes 8, 10, 12 seconds over.
So that guy in that condo, he was only paying $2,400, right?
I don't want that one.
A month? Okay.
He owes $100 a month deficit.
$175.
Whatever.
Yeah. You're right.
But
That's
you
what I
gotta go
said.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, he does have a notice to terminate. I think he did it I didn't see this before. I think he did it before, by the time he had to do it. At which point, he gets his $40,000 back minus
money for the rent.
$1,200 per month earnest money payment will be applied to a $25.75 monthly rent payment.
It doesn't.
And he gets the rest
Yes,
back.
it does.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Good.
But the bottom line is, what you told them is, if they aren't giving it back, you got to get a lawyer.
Yeah, that's the bad thing.
Going back and forth, and they need to understand that there are real consequences.
But in your gut, don't you think he's going to win? Because they don't let people keep earnest money very lightly. You don't think he'll win?
Oh, no, I do think he's
If they terminate, do they split the value of the cost of the house?
No.
So
See, that's the other thing.
That's
As
where
far
he
as
screwed
him
up.
selling
That's where he
the
screwed up.
house is crap. You know, them messing with him selling the house, I think is crap. Because the contract has provisions on if somebody defaults.
But he gave the right thing to terminate.
Yes, he did.
And then if they terminate,
You can't terminate and sell.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So he really screwed up. If it appreciated $50,000 or whatever it did, he should have went to someone.
These owners are fucking nasty.
Well, they're nasty, but he was stupid by not doing some type of financing so he could have, closed and then sold it.
Plus, they know him. Why would he give him $40,000? That's a lot of money.
Well, I wouldn't want a lot of money if I'm going to let somebody.
$675,000.
Yeah.
My husband's an alcoholic.
But I don't understand why he didn't try to buy. I thought he was trying to get.
But he didn't have a job. He can't get it, and the girlfriend now.
But if he went and went someone got some kind of financing for a month, closed it, and sold it.
And somebody would probably loan him the money if they knew there was a good enough return.
Exactly.
And they could split the profit.
And they only had to loan it to him for a month or two.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably could have got even, 15% interest rate.
Several times. Just do something.
So
But are you going to lend them money? I guess if the collateral's enough, maybe you would.
Exactly.
Because they will pay. You've got a $700,000 whatever property.
720-730-9722. Confidential.
But you're right, the owners and stuff are really trying to put the old screws to them and stuff. But he's
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, listen. We have analyzed as much as we can this real estate deal. Tom put down $40,000 on a condo, and he was renting it. They told him that they would close in a year. That's what the contract says, a year, basically. And the $40,000 is down. It's earnest money. And then he paid $2,400 a month. $1,200 went to HOA fees, and then $1,200 went toward the purchase. If it's terminated in any reason, that money goes toward rent, but he has a deficit of $175 a month for rent if anything ends. So that's easily understood. 12 times $175 is his rental deficit if that contract is not fulfilled. So the question is, was the contract defaulted or terminated? There's a difference. If he defaults, he loses his earnest money, which, by the way, I would even argue that, but that's a whole separate issue. I would argue they can sell it, make more money, they haven't lost a dime. But that's a whole separate issue because they can probably keep it. It's very clearly stated as liquidated damages, the default, they get to keep it. So I don't want to go there. So if he defaults, and they wrote him a letter of default saying you were supposed to close, and if you don't, you default, and that's March 4th. So in their eyes, he defaulted. However, they conveniently overlook the required letter of termination he sent before March 4th. And it's clear. But what Tom is confused about, he said he wanted to sell it and they're preventing him. Well, first of all, you can't terminate and sell, okay? It's one or the other. So by saying you were trying to sell it, you're agreeing you were under contract, which will screw you. So we're trying to give you some ammunition here the smart way. Here's what we're saying as far as David Salisbury looking at this. And again, he's not giving you personal legal advice. He is an attorney, but he's looking at this as an island. This contract looks like it's been terminated, and under the terms of that termination, you get your 40 grand back minus the rental deficit of $175 a month. And they won't do that because they say you defaulted. So guess what? There's a controversy, and what does it say about controversy of deposit money, David?
Earnest money dispute.
Are you there, Tom?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
Seller must release the earnest money following proper receipt of notice to terminate by buyer.
No, if there's a controversy, what happens? What
I'm just reading the.
Is there an arbitration clause or something?
No,
yes,
not that I saw.
There is.
There is?
Yeah, there is.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
So listen.
The mediation.
Oh, mediation. There's a mediation clause.
Listen.
Paragraph 19.
I asked you, Tom, if you when I said you terminated, you thought, yeah, I did, but the contract says you have to have a good reason. Did you find where it says that?
Yeah, we did have a good reason.
I'm not asking that. Did the contract say you needed a good reason?
Yes, 17.2.
Read that, David. 17.2. Okay, so why did? What's that?
If seller, it's entitled "If seller is in default, the buyer may elect to cancel the contract."
Right.
And the earnest money will be returned.
Yeah, but that's not talking about a good reason. But I'm talking about terminating. There's something that says you can terminate at any time with a written notice. And it doesn't say you need a good reason to do it.
And, Tom, they did default on the contract because
Why?
they were required to give him a title commitment within a certain period of time, which it doesn't appear they did.
Wow.
They were supposed to give him the association documents, which it appears they didn't do within the time period.
Listen, you're probably going to win this, Tom. But by the way, after all of this, you said I didn't call about any of that. What did you call about?
That's not why I called.
Why'd you call, sir? All right, I'm going to...
He's got an issue with his vet.
I figured that out. I want to know your opinion about whether or not they interfered with me selling. If I have the ability,
okay,
which I believe I do,
you want my opinion as a person. If you want my opinion as a person, you didn't have the right to sell it because you terminated.
Well, my attorney, no, before I terminated, we tried to sell it back in October and November. We put it on Zillow and
I see. And how did they interfere?
They took it down. They called Zillow.
Okay.
And said,
you know what? I don't know, Tom. What did your attorney say? I don't know. That's up in the air. What did your attorney say?
My attorney said the contract gives us equitable title, what's called equitable title, and we have a right to
well, actually, in Colorado, I've done probably more than 500 real estate transactions. And I will say that equitable title, they're very strict in Colorado, and they want a deed. So I kind of doubt it. I'm not disputing the legal advice he gave you. If you think you got them on that and you can sue them, and by the way, had they not interfered and you sold, you do know that the contract says you would owe them half of the profit, right?
No, that was only if they assumed the loan. If we required them to assume the loan, they were willing to do that for 4 months.
Tom,
they were willing to let us sell it and sell the loan along with it.
You can't sell. There are no loans assumable. What are you talking about? Loans are not assumable anyway. What are you talking about?
They were going to carry the contract.
Oh, they were going to finance it themselves.
Yes.
Where does it say that?
Well, I have to look at.
All right, listen, we're done. By the way, Tom, good luck to you. You got an attorney. If you think you can sue for that interference, I don't know how you're going to put a value on it, but good luck to you. I'd love to know the outcome, really. Let's talk to Harvey. Harvey, what's happening? Harvey? Okay, I'm just going to
darn it.
Just check with him. I didn't terminate it. So go see. Jill, your turn. Hi, Jill. What's happening?
Hi. So
tried to hire a guy to finish my basement. He had a guy.
How'd you find a guy? How'd you find a guy?
So it was a referral through Nextdoor.
Yeah, so many problems with Nextdoor because it's just anybody. It's like a Craigslist, but it just sounds better. So anyway, what happened then?
So Adam, it actually turns out, was my neighbor, and what next happened was he had a production manager who worked for him. This guy's name was Mike. After a month of not hearing from Adam, the original guy, I got a call from a gal named Danny who worked for Remy, and she was trying to schedule the job.
So you hired a contractor, and
I not yet, but I tried to.
Okay, so where are we going with this? Because I don't need to know all the different little steps. You know what I'm saying?
Let me just, if I finish, I think it'll all make sense because these guys are all tied together. So this gal named Danny calls me to schedule the job. Then Adam tells me he's too busy to follow up with me. And who's
Adam? The contractor?
Adam is the original guy, yes.
So Danny called to try to schedule. Adam says he can't handle it. Then what?
Right. So then Mike, the production manager, Adam says, go to Mike because Mike is the guy who's going to be in charge of the job anyway.
All right, you understand. People's eyes are rolling. So then what did Mike do?
Right. So that's the background. Now Mike shows up for me to sign a contract. And at this point, I learned that Mike is no longer working for Adam, and he's got a new company. The new company name.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
That's what I'm getting at, Jill.
Right.
You really don't. I really don't need to know any of this because if you tell me the problem, I promise you, I will ask the pertinent questions.
Okay, gotcha. So what ends up happening is he comes in to do my basement.
He is who?
He
is who?
He is now Mike.
Okay,
Larry,
so
or Mo, maybe Curly.
This guy, Mike, comes in to do your basement after you signed a contract. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
And only at the time of signing contract do I realize that I'm not signing a contract with Adam.
Doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with it. Okay.
Okay, it does with a question that I have, but okay, that's fine. Gotcha.
But you bound yourself to Mike.
Now I bound myself to Mike, and now he lied to me for about 4 months about why he couldn't get a plumber in the house. So I finally go to check, and I realize at the building department that he has no contractor license and he never pulled a permit on my house.
Okay.
So,
is that a breach of your contract?
To not pull a permit is definitely a breach of my contract.
Well, does it say he will pull a permit?
Well, that's a good question.
Because if it doesn't, then it doesn't breach your contract, does it?
You know, I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. So hold on, Jill. Here's what I want you to do, Jill. Here's what I want you to do. I promise you, despite my demeanor, I honest to God want to help you. So let's go to the point where you have a problem and let's see if we can help, okay? Hold on, because I have to do this.
Bob hired Mike that told John not to show up on a Wednesday, but Eric showed up that Friday, and then Saturday, you'll never guess what happened. Why do people believe they need to tell you all that? I don't know. Then I ate a pork chop,
find out that
and my dog started crying.
Then they find out Mike's really married.
Mike is actually married.
There you go.
When I went,
Then they went to the workout.
but that's not why I'm calling. My vet overcharged me. How about that one old lady? Boy, she had you fucking so fired up. I don't remember. The call was a while back. You'll remember it after this. Then after you're fired up and the story's great and I'm fired up.
It's about her dentist.
No, you ask her, when did this happen? 12 years ago. Oh, you fucking came unglued. 12 years ago.
I tell you,
I just woke up today thinking about it, wanted to share.
I can't believe this.
Hey guys, I'm on. The Hormone Bros is what I call them. It's revitalized health. Listen, I don't mean to make light of what they do, but they're really good people. 3 brothers run this clinic, and they do BioG treatments for testosterone and hormones. They optimize those, the best delivery system anywhere. And they also do Juvederm fillers, and they do a microneedling, which stimulates collagen. They do thread lifts. Give them a call, 720-361-2302. You will love these guys, 720-361-2302. Or better, thehormonebros.com.
Tomorrow is International Women's Day, all day long. iHeartRadio will celebrate
Fuller Law in 20 seconds. 30 seconds stop. Fuller Law.
And share personal stories.
Hey.
All day tomorrow.
You like that accent, huh? That's pretty good, isn't it?
I thought all your accents were Chinese.
Coming of age drama about an extraordinary young girl determined to unearth the truth behind who she is. Premieres on March 29th on Prime Video.
Even if the insurance company says, we'll take full responsibility, be on your guard. You can have free legal advice. John Fuller, Fuller Law. If you're in a car accident, please give them a call if you have any questions. And even if you think, oh, I'm not injured, I don't want to sue, you don't have to. Just get accurate information. He'll tell you where you stand. And if he takes the case, he only collects if he collects for you. 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. That's John Fuller, personalinjuryco.com.
Looking for ways to save with your Medicare plan? Walgreens is a preferred network pharmacy with...
But that guy had like 6 months. He could have got some type of alternative financing. That's what I don't understand.
I didn't
know we had a lawyer.
I didn't hear the call.
I mean, it's kind of like you don't believe your lawyer, so you call, with all due respect, you're paying a lawyer, but you're going to call the show? Huh?
Something's going down.
And he calls it after everything is said and done.
And I don't agree with him. I don't agree that he has constructive, or whatever they said, title.
All that type of thing?
Yeah, you know. He could have closed.
Right.
He closes, and he could close the afternoon with the new buyers.
Exactly.
That's all.
But if they close,
he couldn't buy the house.
But if they close right, he didn't have the financing available too. But he could have got some, like you say.
But he still owed his money back minus whatever that formula is.
Right. But he's not going to get the value of the appreciation.
Well, buy the damn house.
Right.
Set up the closing in the afternoon if you want to get your money that quickly.
Absolutely.
And you pay off your loan if you've taken a loan bridge.
No, I tell you, so he got that warning letter from him, which is in January.
Mm-hmm.
He still has 3 months to do something. I just don't understand.
Commit to a healthier you.
It happens.
Inspired by your genes.
And he knew they was going to make money.
Order your Health Plus Ancestry.
Did he say how much he thought it would
70.
70 thought he would appreciate it? So he's basically, if he would have done that, he would have had 110 in his pocket, minus whatever the alternative financing would have been.
You gonna go flying, dude?
Yeah, I am. How'd you know?
I can just tell.
I feel so much better today. You know, I had a lack of sleep. I think that's what was getting me, man. And I just caught up finally. I was so draggy.
You can't function when you're that tired.
No, you know what?
Your emotions
As I
get all
older,
screwed up.
I used to not need a lot of sleep. As I get older, if I get sleep, I feel great.
Yeah, you get more deprived.
I take naps sometimes, and I wake up and it's
God,
like,
I love. You know,
wow,
I feel so much better.
What's this world that I'm in?
That's the marijuana, not the nap.
Yeah.
No, I don't do it that early. Much later in the afternoon.
But how big a nap?
I only do marijuana when I drive.
Like 45 minutes to an hour.
Because a lot of people say that's.
I only smoke pot when I drink.
15 minutes is more of a recharge.
No. And I only do that, on long trips. Hey, David, I'm really safe. I only drink on long trips. Like when I'm on the interstate.
And then I smoke pot.
Clients who want meetings on Friday. I said not after 4. I start drinking then.
I wonder if they have a stat on how much weed is consumed in Colorado now.
Oh, yeah.
And now, hold on, Colorado's thinking about making mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
And not the kind you put in your pasta.
Hi, Tom Martino here.
Welcome. David Salisbury with us, attorney at law. David, handwritten wills. Do we get this question? How many times? David, do I ask you this through email?
It comes up a few times.
Can I use it?
Can you use it's called a holographic will. It's all in your handwriting. But it still needs to be signed, notarized, and you should have 2 witnesses. But a handwritten will is effective and is valid.
All right, 303-713-TALK. Jill needs some advice. Okay, so Jill, as I said, I'm sorry for all that crap. Okay,
That's
so
okay.
you eventually...
I'm trying to give you background.
Yeah, you eventually hire this guy, Mike, okay?
Right.
And he didn't pull a contract. Excuse me, a permit.
Didn't pull a permit, right.
And he didn't do some other things, like he doesn't have a license. So where are we going? Do you want to get out of the contract?
So, yeah, we stopped the project because he can't, in El Paso County, he can't do the job without a permit.
Okay.
And he can't get an inspection without a permit.
And that's within your right. That's right.
I've stopped the job, but I guess now I know I'm not going to collect money because he doesn't have any money, but I know.
How much have you paid him?
$7,957.
You paid how? Why'd you pay that much up front?
Because we had in the contract, I was paying 5 payments to finish the project at different milestones. And the first milestone was supposed to be framing, rough-in, and
then why?
plumbing,
Okay, was that the $79.57?
Correct. That was supposed to be.
So
for
he
that,
did complete then, or not?
No, not even close.
All right. So right
After
now,
4
does he
months, it
dispute
wasn't close.
that? Will he just go away? Will he just go away, or does he expect to be paid?
No, he's already been paid. So
No,
the
he's been
issue
paid
now,
part of it, right? Or is this the entire price?
No, that's for the part of it, and so now at this point he owes me money because he didn't even complete this part.
Well, of course he does, but you just said he doesn't have it.
Correct.
Okay, so what's your question?
Well, 2 things. I now know I need to take him to the small claims court.
That's what's good about this is that it's below the damage will be below 7,500. You hope.
Correct.
It probably could be more, but you go to the max 7,500, sue him in small claims court, get a judgment. Now that doesn't mean you'll collect, but at least it'll be out there to haunt him.
Right. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And then the other thing though is Adam tied into this at all?
How?
Because that's what I'm asking, and I
don't see on what planet he'd be involved.
Just because he worked for him and they didn't disclose that they were now this separate business until the minute.
Oh, come on. You're really, in my opinion, you're really reaching, man. I mean,
just wanted to ask that because
don't listen. Sure. Go to if you could get an attorney to take that, good luck. I'm not looking at this from a legal point of view. Here's what I'm saying. Adam was completely separate, man. He says, go talk to Mike. Then Mike shows up sometime later, and you said you even knew they weren't affiliated.
Well, at the time I signed the check, that was when I found out.
Not when you signed the contract.
Those happened at the same time.
Okay, tell me this. Why would Adam be at fault if Mike signed you to a contract and did not tell you?
Well, up until that moment, Adam was representing that he was going to be doing the job.
What was the difference? Hold on.
Yeah.
Adam said he couldn't fit it in. He said, go see Mike.
Mike is my production manager.
Now, okay, hold on. How long after Mike said, go see Mike, did you sign the contract?
Probably 2 weeks.
So you're saying because Adam says, go see my production manager, and that production manager then signed you to a contract, that Adam somehow is responsible for it.
Right, because I didn't. Well, I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Okay, so hold on. Let's go with that. Let's say he is. Okay, now the question is, what is Adam responsible for? What kind of loss? I mean, would it have changed anything had Adam been affiliated?
I never would have hired Mike if he wasn't attached to Adam.
Yeah.
Ever.
Here's what I think. I think you're doing what most consumers do, and it's called reaching for straws when you're drowning.
That's why I called you.
I get it. I get it. Here's the thing, though. Here's what I never want to be responsible for. I never want to be responsible for people reaching for straws if someday one of those straws would pay off. For example, there's nothing to prevent you from being ridiculous. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people. Nothing to prevent anyone from being ridiculous when they try to connect the dots. Okay? Now, judges look askance at that. They hate it. But you know what? You might get someone who has such a stellar reputation or is so bothered by it or morally bugged that they may pay you. So while I say don't be ridiculous, why not? I mean, you have nothing to lose by being ridiculous, Jill. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but have you contacted Adam and said, listen, Adam, you told me to go to Mike. I signed a contract, and that's a detrimental reliance, or pick another word. You know, I relied on you.
And we have had that conversation.
What did he say to you?
Basically that he was sorry, and I think he's concerned that I'm going to go after him. But
so why don't you include? Well, why don't you include him in the small claim?
Well, that's what I'm wondering is if I should or not.
Well, what harm would it do? Suzanne, yes.
Hey, Tom, Mark Szymanski from Genesis Total Exteriors just texted me saying he could go look at it to see if she got $7,500 worth of work done if needed.
And he can tell you.
I have had a contractor come in here.
Did you find them on Nextdoor as well?
No.
Okay.
Well, actually, sort of.
You know what?
Because
go to referrallist.com because you see Nextdoor. Did you call them for help?
Who?
Next door?
No, well, I didn't call next door.
For help?
No. What ended up happening was I posted something about this, which is how Adam resurfaced.
Yeah. And what happened?
There's also another contractor who lives over there, and they volunteered to come over here and take a look at it.
God, I guess that's my fault that people go to nameless, faceless websites, you know. Next door, just ambiguous. No one to go, no one to call. You use the referral list. You call me personally. You call Mark personally. We get involved. It's amazing to me how many people would use a Home Advisor, an Angie's List, a Team Logan, a Nextdoor, any list. No one, and I mean no one, has the accountability that we do. And if you are upset that I just said that, then you call me and I will prove to you that we have more accountability than anyone in the market, anyone at all. It doesn't matter. We get more involved and have more accountability. Now, having said that, Jill, we'll help you. You should have it assessed by someone I know and trust as to how much work you got done. Then you should probably just go after anybody you want, okay? What can I tell you? And people, you know, you can use Nextdoor, but what the hell is it going to get you? It's a gamble. It's a crapshoot.
It's amazing how people continually get kicked in the head. They just they don't learn the lesson. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It is. 303-713-TALK. I am now so curious as what this TSA complaint would be. Did you get felt up? I don't know. Brad, what is this TSA complaint? Just quickly, and then we'll come back and take more. What is it about?
Hey, Tom. Thank you for taking my call. And, you know, I'm a contractor. You're the best thing since the paint roller was invented.
Thank you. What's going on with the TSA, man?
Oh, okay. So I live in a small town. I have a small circle of network of friends. And through that, they said, hey, beware what you pack in your checked bag because they lost some things. And you know what? That's, you know, I really didn't have much credence to that.
Yeah.
So my wife and I just got back from a trip, and we went to San Antonio. We checked our bag first thing in the morning. I gave some details on
What's
the email.
Missing, man? What's missing?
A pair of cycling sunglasses.
All right, hold on. Is that really worth it? I don't mean on your part. Would a TSA or somebody take those? Maybe. Hey, David Salisbury's shaking his head yes. Let's examine it.
Why is that TSA?
Because they open up the luggage.
They're allowed to open up, right?
No, he said he checked his bag, though.
Right.
They do TSA randomly check?
No, they don't randomly. They run them through again. People don't know this. They're run through again. They even check bags for bombs.
Yes.
What does he have with a fucking lock on your bag, though?
No, they have. You must have a TSA compliant where they have the master key. If you buy at luggage stores, they're TSA compliant, and if not, they destroy it. The lock.
Well, you never had it. I've had check for luggage and stuff.
Am I doing Cracker Jack?
Let's like Hawaii or something.
Not usually, but a lot of times a check luggage is cheaper than carrying.
I've never. It'll depend on where you're flying down for how long. It's cheaper just to fucking stop at Walmart and buy some clothes.
Look at this guy.
Some of them are $100 a bag.
Come on.
This guy has got the best. He lost his leg, how many months ago? 3 months ago.
Not long ago, dude. He's one of our referral guys.
He's got the best at. He was on the show last week, 2 weeks ago.
Cracker Jack Mud Jacking is the place that repairs concrete instead of replacing it, and they have 60,000 jobs under their belt. They can do small things in the basement, get into tight places like in the garage, and they can fix the apron, they can fix walkways, they do lifting of concrete, but don't let that bother your head. Even with heaving, lifting helps. I don't know, they have this way of doing it. They fix, they level, they stabilize. 303-410-7787. They'll give free estimates, and you know what? They guarantee all their work. 303-410-7787.
He was on 2 weeks ago. He was joking about it.
And how did he lose it?
Fell asleep, ran in the back of a semi. You should have seen him. Oh, but he was seriously. He was joking about it. He gave his screaming deal. Because of my leg, I'm going to give a half off. That's it. I'm serious.
Okay, 10 seconds, guys. I'm going to give you this number for the Fix-It people, the $39 people. Fix-It 24/7. Here's the website, fixmyhome.com. Whenever you need any problem found, you know that call charge will be $39. And when they find the problem, they will refund that $39 or credit it toward the work, okay? Now, if you don't have the work done, the most you pay, $39. 720-526-3939. 720-526-3939. FixMyHome.com.
You know, the only time I've had trouble with TSA, it's been some years ago, and I'm getting ready, I'm standing there wanting to go through the metal detector, and there are 3 agents on the other side, just talking to each other.
No, I know.
And I finally said, excuse me, you know, can you go, and next thing I know, I've got their, their manager or their, and, well, you got a problem? You have a problem? Well, maybe you should just go home then.
What? The manager said that?
She sure did. She said, if you're going to make trouble, you just go on home. And I was like, and you know what? That Tom,
conversational in a new language.
No, I'm not fucking with TSA. Because next thing I know, every time I go through, they're going to do everything.
But they didn't make it. They can't make you. They can't stop you.
Well, what they said,
you know, they could say, we think he's a threat and let you miss your plane.
There you go. They could take me aside in a room.
Did they do that?
No. She was satisfied because I just kind of, you know, okay,
sorry. I wouldn't have taken that.
Oh, I would have
reported that?
No, I would have reported it.
Because, like I say, I really do think they steal stuff. I really do.
Oh, I'm sure they do. And if it was some kind of like Oakley or one of these, you know, sunglasses that
I've never
cost
seen a guy
$300,
so well adjusted for losing his fucking leg.
That's what Dan was saying.
I have never seen a guy so well adjusted in my entire leg.
Just
for losing a leg.
You wouldn't believe it.
I mean,
you
it's
wouldn't
almost
believe
like
it.
you're wearing like a badge of courage.
Yep. I tell you what, if I ever do that, I would emulate him or try to emulate him as far as how good. I mean, seriously, he was joking. Tom wasn't here when he'll be here tomorrow though. But he, like I said, he gave half
Have you ever
off
met
on
guys from who went to Afghanistan or Iraq who've lost legs? Because I talked to everybody in the gym, and I was talking to the guy, and he just said, hey, you know, I didn't want to lose my legs, but I'm working out. I've got a job. I've got a family. You know, so I don't have a leg.
But there are people that they turn to drugs or alcohol, you know, or something like that.
It's almost like he's wearing it like a badge of courage.
No,
weird.
I think he's happy to be alive. That's what
It was a life-affirming event.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's how I think he looked at it. He's got a wife, he's got kids, and you know, he's still here.
And he has a business?
Right.
Guys, I'm splitting. David, it was good seeing you.
Oh, you going?
Oh, yeah, the show's over in 5 minutes. I'm going to meet Mikey Mike.
And the
Fresh Bunch.
But it's really paramount
that
I can
change.
go in and I can edit without redoing it.
Yeah.
If I insert a question, I don't have to put all the, because right now, if I have to put in a question,
Yeah, you got to re-edit everything. You got to redo the flow.
You know exactly what I need, Mark.
Straight over his head.
I was shocked it was kind of made that way to begin with.
That's good. I like that.
It's one of those things we just would have
Can I go
never.
through again?
So I want to duplicate a set of questions, and I also want to insert and take, you know, it's full edit.
You need to get out there.
All right, later. I'll see you tomorrow. Have fun
Just one
flying.
more time.
Thank you.
Okay, for this one.
Yeah. I'll throw you a 20. Come on.
I've never had issues with TSA.
I never did too, because I don't say a word, and you know what? You don't like look around and see. I like to look around and stuff. Sometimes they'll have somebody up there. They're looking for behavior. I mean, the Israelis came up with that 40 years ago, and they haven't had a plane. And do they profile? Hell yeah, they profile.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Okay, so Brad wants to know, did they take his sunglasses? They very well could have. I mean, they open bags. I don't know how often they open bags, but they examine even checked bags. And you had cycling glasses in there, and they're not there, right?
Right.
I don't know what you do about it, though, because, you know, I don't know. Do they have cameras there that they'll look at if you make a complaint, sir?
I assume so. So I made a phone call to the information desk at DIA. A very nice representative said, hey, can you send us the time of your flight, when that bag was possibly going through TSA, and we'll get back to you. So what I did, I took a picture of the bag.
That's nice that they want all that information.
True. and I took a picture of my old sunglasses that I happened to have a picture of, and I took a picture of a replacement of Rudy Project glasses. They're $200 cycling glasses. The website they gave me is undeliverable. It won't receive my.
Well, I'm
my
sure it's
message.
I'm sure it's a mistake. You know.
Well, I looked on the website. It's info@flydenver.com. No, it's not responding. So I just want for the next victim that maybe has a nice pair of prescription glasses or walking, something in there that is important that doesn't get stolen. There's some checks and balances that aren't in place.
Well,
I don't know.
Listen, man, we get very few complaints about TSA. So I have to believe it's not something that's happening a lot. But here's the deal. This is the show to do it, because when people are pissed off or when people have concerns, even those who don't call, we have plenty of people, I bet you right now, saying, listening, thinking, I had a problem when I went to this restaurant or this or that. Should I call or shouldn't I? And then they hear someone who has a similar problem and they feel encouraged. So here's the deal. Maybe it was just something small and you notice it's missing. If so, call us. Maybe Brad has a point here. Let's see what we can do. If there are people who've been traveling with checked bags and inside their checked bags was something that they now can't find, and we put together a pattern, we'll do it. I mean, let's make sure we have your information. Now, so far, you could not get in touch with anyone because that email did not work. Is that right?
Right. And I'll try again. I double-checked my type, make sure I didn't transpose. Yeah,
and be in touch with us, because we do want to follow this. Okay. Now, Ken, quickly, what did you want to talk about? Did you want to talk about the Contractors Trust Act?
Yes. Well, you were talking to your customer
yes. Okay.
Caller a while ago about the contract that the guy didn't have a license.
You're right. I forgot to mention the Contractors Trust Act, which can make it a crime.
Yeah. Well, it's not only that. If a contractor doesn't have a license, the customer doesn't have to pay him a dime. If the contractor doesn't pull a permit, the customer doesn't have to pay him a dime.
Ken, I'd like to agree with you, except we've had cases where people have actually had judgments against them for not paying an unlicensed contractor or without paying for a permit, because, as crazy as it sounds, they don't mix. I mean, if a guy, it's called Quantum Marriott, if a guy does value for you, whether he has a license, whether he pulls a permit, and you use only that as your excuse for not paying, I'm just telling you, Ken, in the past, people have lost. There's no need for a debate, but I think that it can happen. Paul, you have an insurance claim on your home. Oh, excuse me, I'm on the wrong guy here. I'm sorry. Paul, you have an insurance claim. What kind of insurance claim? Hi, Paul. What kind of an insurance claim do you have?
I'm sorry, Tom. I have a homeowner's insurance claim.
And what is the problem with it?
Well, it was not a problem. I was listening yesterday with Matt and Paragon.
Yes, to our Matthew, our public adjuster, right?
Right. And
here's what you need to do, because I'm out of time and I don't want you to run out of time. Okay. I can even talk to you after the show's off right now, okay? If you're asking, are they a good idea? Absolutely. If you're asking at Matt at Paragon, does he do a good job? Absolutely. And to me, I wouldn't even consider a homeowner's loss. If it's more than $5,000, I would never even consider not having a public adjuster. So why don't you, Suzanne, give Paul the information for Paragon. Now, David, you want to talk about taking over an auto lease. Suzanne, just tell David. Hold on, Suzanne. Can you grab Suzanne and tell her, Suzanne, please tell David never. It's that easy. Never, ever, ever do it. I'm Tom Martino. David Salisbury, thanks for being here. Save all your problems for me.
That went quick.
Short but sweet.
When I had my brother take me places,
That's the
it was
first
like,
time
we have to
I
get
think
there
we've
early
never
so I can
had
smoke a cigarette before we go inside.
A will,
I'm
if you want, a will or probate stop a
I
cigarette.
know. Exactly. It's true.
I mean,
Get up
normally
first
you,
thing,
like say,
smoke a
you
cigarette
could,
before lunch.
one good
After
lunch,
lunch. Another one on the way home, before dinner, after dinner. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm kind of feeling like I've lost about 4 hours of every day.
I didn't realize it was that much. Have a certain level of
I decided I needed to find so I started looking
all that,
came up.
I appreciate
both for a while.
I gotta look that word up.
I
gotta look that word up.
Go with that. Do you want to smoke before we go in? I was like, no, I don't need to.
Mimi made the switch July 2015.
Say hello to your ladies for me.
At Jewel.com. That's
Sweet lady.